Hey, what's up, everybody? Kind of wanted to come back at you with another video. We haven't been very active lately, but this is a video I really have been wanting to do lately. It's about Cam Newton. Uh, as you know, if you watch our channel, you know we're Cam Newton fans. So this might kind of look like I'm covering for him, like I'm trying to like have his back or something because he hasn't been, he hasn't. This is probably his worst season ever. Well, it definitely is. But I kind of wanted to provide a little context and give you my take on you know how I wouldn't say how I would basically explain this isn't all Cam Newton's fault, like as you have probably heard online or from random people. So basically, I wanted to go ahead and get started. I'm not usually somebody who likes to kind of write down what I'm going to say, but I do have like bullet points because I'm kind of used to having Michael here and we'll kind of feed off of each other and just kind of just go crazy and have improv or kind of improv the whole thing. But just to kind of so I can stay on track, I got some bullet points about kind of what I wanted to hit on today. So the first thing I kind of wanted to go on is basically any time a team has like some struggles, who's going to get blamed usually? It's going to be the head coach and the quarterback. Head coach is Bill Belichick. He's the GOAT. Nobody's going to blame him. Cam Newton, as he's been a lot of times, is definitely going to get all the going to be kind of the scapegoat, if you will, of any and all deficiencies with the team or especially the offense. And that's kind of what I wanted to get into. I think a lot of times people will just I don't know, they'll kind of use like numbers or sometimes just kind of like a general narrative instead of kind of like seeking context of what's going on. And that's kind of what I wanted to get into. Their receivers are not very good. You can go and look back. I think there's like a figure or a stat out there. It's like only one receiver on their whole team is in the top 60 of separation, which is horrible actually. I think it's Jacoby Myers, and I'm pretty sure he was like barely in the rankings or whatever. But I think he's had a pretty very good season. But just in general, the receiving core. I mean, you have Jacoby Myers. He's their number one. Do you think he'd be a number one on any other team? No. N'Keal Harry? No. He has not lived up to being a first round pick. He's slow. He looks like he has a piano on his back when he runs. Then you have Demir Bird. I actually really like Demir Bird. He was a Panther back in the day. I was actually, if you go back on my Facebook page, you can see where I was hoping that I was saying like after one of his preseason games, his rookie year, I was saying, yeah, I think Demir should definitely get a roster spot. When I said that, I meant like fourth or fifth on the depth chart. I did not mean like your second or third best receiver. That's definitely not what I meant at the time. So you kind of add that, and then you consider that the tight end play has not really been great either. Like Ryan Izzo, he's been okay, but he's not like a legitimate like top tight end at all, if you ask me. And then even he's been out, so you know I don't know. I just feel like Cam hasn't had a lot to work with. The offensive line has been great run blocking, in my opinion. And I think they've been pretty good pass blocking. But there's times where you watch their games and it's just like what's going on. Like they allowed in the Rams game it was I feel like they allowed like 20 sacks that game. Like it was just it was constant. Like there's just random like misblown like assignments that just get like blown and a free rusher comes through untouched and just drills like Cam. They put Stedman at the end of that game and the same thing was happening to him. So I don't know. It's just kind of like in my opinion, I think you could put pretty much anybody in that situation, in Cam's situation this year, and I really think like nobody would really do great. I mean, yeah, you can say people would do better, but I don't think anybody would do very good. I think if you put Mahomes in there, he would look like average pretty much. So that's kind of the main thing I wanted to hit on. The other thing I wanted to hit on is how bad the situation is for Cam coming into this right off the start. You have no good receivers. You're coming in late. I think he came in like July. You have very little time to prepare. Most of his offseason, he was rehabbing the entire time. That's not going to help you get better. That just helps you get to where you should be. So it's almost like, he's kind of putting in those practice hours in real time. So I don't know. I mean, it sounds like I'm just trying to make excuses for him, but I kind of just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on why like I don't know. I think it's kind of just been about maybe the worst situation possible for a quarterback coming to a new team. So you get no time, No great receiver. He doesn't have any playmaker. There's no playmaker that's like, okay, if I just get him the ball, he can do something with it. There's none of that in New England. There's nobody like. I mean, you could say they're, James White or Damian Harris. I think they've been very helpful. Like they've been great backs, but I mean, they don't have like a. They just don't have like a playmaker. Like if you get him the ball, he could be electric with it, and like break a bunch of tackles and go for a touchdown or something like that. There's just nothing like. There's no like McCaffrey or like Steve Smith or like Tyreek Hill or anything. There's nothing like that. There's no like playmaking like person that can kind of help the quarterback out, if you will. So, and here's kind of the main thing. I think I'm probably going to title the video "Cam Newton Can Still Play." Here's kind of the main thing I wanted to hit on. I think this is kind of like really annoying how people do this. They do this in general a lot. It's like if a player, people like to just say like, oh, he's washed up, or he hasn't been the same since X, or whatever the case may be. My thing is, he threw that Seattle game. He threw 397 yards, and he had like 3 total touchdowns. I know what people are going to say, blah, blah, blah. It's one of the worst secondaries ever. And it is. It's one of the worst I've ever seen. But he threw 365 against the Texans. And he's had a lot of quality games this year. I mean, he's had a lot of horrible games, but he's had a lot of like games where he's done pretty well with what he has, I think. And when you like, to me, whenever you're trying to judge if somebody can still play, if they've showed you they can still play a few weeks and they played bad the other weeks, that doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, he's washed up. He showed he's not washed up. He just doesn't have anything to work with, if you ask me. A lot of people have complained about the play calling. I haven't been complaining about the play calling like a ton. I've had a few each game where I'm like, I don't get like why you would do that. Like 4 runs in a row in the red zone. That happened against the Rams. How they just refuse to pass the ball down the field. Like, I just don't get it. And then the common response is, oh, Cam can't throw downfield anymore. Well, he's throwing a bomb to Demir Bird against the Texans. He threw a ton of bombs in the Seattle game. Like, he showed he can still throw the ball downfield. And he's actually been one of the most efficient vertical passers this year. I think there's like a PFF stat. I'm not a huge PFF person, but I think he was like in the top. I think he was like top 5 in their efficiency as far as deep throws or throws past a certain amount of yards. My point is, I'm not really trying to quote PFF. I'm just saying, to me, if he's proven he can throw downfield still. If you ask me, I just don't think they have anybody who can get downfield. Demir Bird's fast, but he's not like a deep threat. Like he's just not that guy. He's not that guy, if you ask me. So here's my other thing I kind of wanted to debunk, or kind of just whatever you want to call it. A lot of people have said, well, Brady had the same situation last year, and first of all, Brady left because of that situation, and second of all, it wasn't even the same situation. He had Josh Gordon for 6 weeks. I know people are saying, oh well, he wasn't the same Josh Gordon. I'm pretty sure Cam would like to have that Josh Gordon for 6 weeks. That's just my opinion. He had AB for a week. I know everybody's like, he's only there for a week. I'm pretty sure Cam wishes he had AB for a week. I'm pretty sure he would take that. And then Mohamed Sanu was there. I know people don't think he's great, but he's a veteran receiver. He's a proficient. He's a pretty decent proficient receiver. And then he had Edelman most of the year. Cam has not had Edelman. He's been out most of the year. So this whole narrative of Cam or Tom Brady had the same thing the whole year, and there were no problems. They had one of the easiest schedules in the league last year. Like, this is a completely different year. Patriots have one of the hardest schedules this year. The receivers are different. There's no playmakers. And let's just say it all was the exact same. Let's just say, for the sake of arguing, it was. Do you expect the man, after like these injuries that everybody keeps talking about, to come in there and just replicate what everybody says is the GOAT, which I probably agree. I think Tom Brady's the GOAT. You actually expect him to come in there and recreate that, and with like very little time to do so. Like, he came in like July or something like that, and just do what this guy's done for the last 20 years in a new offense after recovering from a Lisfranc injury. That's just ridiculous. Like, there's no playmakers. He's had very little time to prepare. He's coming off of injuries. He's adjusting to a new playbook. He's playing a relatively tough schedule. There's just no way that's going to happen. I think if they kind of give Cam another shot next year with the 70 million in cap, I think they could do some things. I don't necessarily know if they're going to keep Cam. I can kind of see them cutting bait and just letting him go. But I don't know. I kind of am just a little tired of how lazy people are with drawing conclusions and just being like, oh, well, the offense isn't very good. Cam isn't very good. It's like, there's more to it than that. Like, it's not that basic. Like, the NFL is not so black and white where you can just be like, offense is bad, quarterback's bad. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot of intricacies and, little things that kind of have to flow together and a lot of, I don't know. I just am kind of getting a little, like, annoyed with, like, how I've never seen a player that gets less of the benefit of the doubt than Cam Newton. Like, ever in my life, I've never seen it. Like, but actually, maybe Tony Romo. Tony Romo is up there, but I just don't think there's many guys who get like less of the benefit of the doubt than Cam. And I don't know why exactly that is. I don't know if it was like his personality or something like that, but I've always kind of thought that myself. You can comment if you think differently or anything in this video. Actually, just you can comment if you don't agree with. We kind of like to interact with people in the comment section, so I definitely invite that. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to give my take on that. My other thing I kind of wanted to hit on is just kind of what I think could happen next year with Cam. I think he's put out enough tape to get a job. I mean, I've seen some people saying he won't even be a backup. He's out of the league after this year. It's like, if you're a hater, you can just admit it. Okay? Like, he can definitely, like, that is ridiculous. Like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you don't think he can be in the league after this year, like, other GMs and coaches, they understand that the Patriots have no weapons. Like, if you watch the game, watch the game. He is literally the only person that is making plays ever, besides Damian Harris, and Burkhead was making some plays actually, but he's hurt. So I don't know. It's just kind of like, to me, it's like anything goes wrong, it's his fault. And I think part of it is he has had some bad games. He has been inconsistent, but. I mean, what did you expect? Like, did you think he was going to come in and be like, just be like what Tom Brady's been the last 20 years, like with very little time to prepare and coming off injury? I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, I kind of look at it like this: you're paying the man like $1 million. You got that money's worth after the Seattle game, I think. I mean, he got you the win in Miami, and then you had that insane game against the Seahawks. I think the $1 million contract was pretty much paid off right then and there. So that's what I think. Just kind of wanted to touch base on this whole topic. Really, Michael and I might do a follow up on this video. If you don't like it, that's all right. Hit dislike and comment. But we really like the engagement and the feedback and everything, and appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.